recognize the migrations taking place in the region, and we're doing what any progressive.
So we're having this dialogue about reconciliation and the concept of what is reconciliation and land back. And it's really interesting to me how there's two other things I'm going to reference real quick. First of all, watch that entire video with the lens of settler colonialism. Watch it and you'll see that, well, what's the catch? Well, the catch is that you're likely on treaty territory, or there is a local indigenous area or reserve that probably was displaced and put into this reserve. Like we're talking north of Ontario, so like, I know just offhand, Ottawapiskat, like there's so many places just north of that area that have like suicide watches and that because of settler colonialism. So what's the catch? Well, the catch is that you're stealing somebody's land that you had no right to begin with, that you're continuing and perpetuating settler colonialism at the expense of other people. There was two other conversations I wanted to talk about. There was this article here in Calgary that talked about revitalizing the downtown, and one of the folks that is a part of this, actually there's three folks that are a part of that I do like, but once again, because CBC Calgary is so fucking racist, they never talk about Indigenous incorporation of downtown revitalization. So literally our 60 Scoop and Indigenous residential school survivors are living downtown, being harassed and beaten up regularly by the police, being thrown into jails for nothing, and having a permanent criminal record forever. So I want you to be thinking Palestinian Israeli. So just think of the Calgary police as the so-called defense force for Israel, and any policing that they have in any place across this country is just, they are the ones that are taking the Indigenous people, giving them records, throwing them in jails, and displacing them so settlers can come in and take the land and contribute to the imposed Western economic world, excluding Indigenous people from that economic world as well. Our treaty is intended for us to share the land equally, and we are not doing that. And so whenever you start to watch these videos and you're thinking like you're decolonizing, you're thinking about misogyny, you're thinking about racism, you're thinking about decolonizing, and you're thinking about reconciliation, ask yourself why in this CTV news clip you do not see anything mentioned about Indigenous people. Ask yourself, when you're reading an article about downtown revitalization in Calgary, why you are not seeing anything about Indigenous inclusion. I know why. That's what settler colonial mentality is. It's erasure, Indigenous erasure. And that's what we're seeing Israel trying to do to Gaza right now, is just erase all Palestinians that might be living there, regardless of their religion, where you're getting Christians killed, Muslims killed. They're all being murdered. And even their own Jewish hostages are being murdered, because to them that is the collateral damage worthwhile in order to just take over the land. And of course that's what the RCMP and the Northwest Mounted Police did to Indigenous people, forcing us onto reserves. And so I'm seeing all of the policies imposed on Indigenous people being done to folks in Gaza. And I don't understand how other people don't see it. And I also don't understand how Canadians can be like, it's so expensive in Toronto and I just don't know what I'm going to do and I'll never own a home. I know, I'll steal the land of an Indigenous person elsewhere so that I can have a house and I can own my house. And, and what are the industries that they keep referring to in that article? They keep referring to forestry and mining, which most likely the reserve is downstream from. So they have nice, ugly, dirty water so that settlers can have nice, clean water and make lots of money and never, ever, ever share that wealth or have Indigenous inclusion. So just think about what you're watching.